Welcome back, travelers. As you can see, War of the Spark. Let's do it. Chapter 7, Jace Beleren. Now, Jace is basically the stand-in for the Gatewatch as a whole in a lot of these cases, where everyone is there at the same time, and it's through his point of view. As soon as he arrives there, he feels something grab his spark. As soon as he arrives in Ravnica, something has latched onto his spark and is anchoring him. And it's an artifact called the Immortal Sun, which Bolas has placed on Ravnica to trap the Planeswalkers. Basically, he immediately knows what it is, he recognizes it, and he knows that things are already going bad, because if they had gotten there earlier, maybe they could have stopped something. But instead, they arrived at this exact moment due to their little tea break. The Guildpact has a particular area called the Chamber of the Guildpact, which is in the embassy, which is this basically just where all 10 guilds have to respect. And it's plain wise, it's where all the ley lines meet. It's a very powerful location. It makes a ton of sense to have such an important spot there. Gideon, Ajani, Chandra, Jaya, Teferi, even Karn, they all appear, right? So all these planeswalkers are here, and they're communicating telepathically because they don't want to alert anyone that they're actually in that room. It's basically been untouched for a very long time because Jace was off being a pirate and all other stuff was going on. So he's there. Everyone's kind of like, well, what's going on? And Lavinia comes in, and Lavinia has basically been doing what she was doing with Ralzarek and with everybody else, and it's just been chaos. And Lavinia does not like chaos, and she's overjoyed to see Jace. Lavinia meets all the planeswalkers. She's like, Jace, where have you been? You have a job to do. And basically, Jace is like, we have a plan. We have some ideas. And Gideon's like, yeah, we're gonna poke him with my sword. And everybody's like, yeah, that's the plan. Yay, we got it. Jace hears that while he was gone, Vraska killed Asperia by turning her to stone because she's a Gorgon, and that's what Gorgons do. Jace feels very, 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 very guilty about this because he thinks the reason she did it is because he wiped her memory of all the good times they had together and made her into a pawn of Bolas once again. He does not like Sphinxes in general, though, simply because he was taught by a Sphinx, which tried to rip his mind apart and constantly erase his memories. He was trapped on a plane by a Sphinx, which was Azor, who was a terrible, terrible planner. Also, everything that happened on Ravnica was caused by Azor as well, and forced Jace to become the Guildpact. So a whole bunch of stuff is due to Sphinxes in Jace's mind that are bad. So Asperia can't be that much better. He's still upset though because having Asperia killed meant that the entirety of the guilds were basically done with each other and were mounting their own forces for a war. So basically Jace goes, okay, Lavinia, tell me what's going on with each guild. And we actually get she's very concise, basically the exact opposite of Rat. So let's look at what she says about the Golgari Swarm. Vraska herself has fled the plane, leaving various Golgari factions fighting for supremacy. So basically it's just a bunch of infighting. The Simic, they departed the failed summit, barricaded themselves within their territories, unwilling to parley. So they're the wallflowers of this particular situation, and they're like, I'm not touching it, I'm staying away from it, I'm not doing anything with that, you guys do your own thing, we're gonna just keep building our little crab Sharknado people. This is interesting. It says Bolas had infiltrated Selesnya, but Ral helped the Elven Healer and Maratandris dispatch the collaborators. So that means in the prequel chapters, we're probably going to see something about how Bolas had people working in Selesnya. The Simic are very hard to get into because obviously it's just a lot of experimentation. The Golgari, he had Vraska as his person. But with Selesnya, apparently he was in Selesnya but failed, which is really interesting because Selesnya is the only combination that is not have one of his colors in it. So that was really cool. The Gruul are like big guys, right? Well, they have a guy named Borborygmus, which the name itself is actually based off of the sound the stomach makes when it growls. Borborygmus, I think is what it's just called. The thing is, he showed up, he's been the leader for a long time, he went to the summit failed miserably because Vraska turned Asperia to stone, and then he goes back home, where a little guy, a little British boy named Domri, he goes, oi! And basically just beats Borborygmus to the ground by summoning a bunch of boars to Bigmas him into the ground. Then of course there's the Rakdos, which they had an emissary with Hakara, but Hakara was killed by Lavinia. But Lavinia instead says that Vraska did it because she is ashamed of the fact that she did it because Bolas gained control of her and forced her to do it and all that other stuff. The Orzhov, they have Kaya, of course, and Lavinia says that. There's a confusion about the fact that she's a ghost assassin. Karn thinks that she's dead, and ha 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 ha, puns, jokes, fun times. Demir, they say Bolas had infiltrated the guild. Obviously he infiltrated the guild. But Lazav, the leader, he was like, you know what, forget that, and he got rid of the guy almost immediately. So whoever was supposed to take care of the Demir, they're done. Bolas does not have any hold on them. And I mean, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, so the Demir are good guys to have. With Niv dead, Ral is of course still the leader. The Azet is run by Ral, that's all she really says. The Boros, ever the magnificent bastions of truth, justice, and just general awesomeness, are on the good guy side. And they tried to take down Bolas immediately after he showed up, because of course that's what Red White would do, and they were promptly shot down, burned, destroyed, dismembered, and all that other stuff. So even though they're still on the good guy side, they had just lost their initial force. The Azorius is a very interesting spot, because Asperia died, and this new guy showed up and just immediately started sending the ranks because he could see the flaws in literally everything. Because of course a blue-white person could see the flaws in everything. This guy, of course, being Dovin Baan, who the Gatewatch had actually already fought in a previous story. He was a, basically he is somewhat of an artificer, but he's more of a systems kind of guy. And he wants to make things more efficient. He's very, very particular, very smart. He's able to see these different things. He can tell you what's wrong with any plan or any structure. He works for Bolas, which is weird, but I love it because he's such a good villain. He got so much to his design where you could really make someone who believes they're right and is doing all the wrong things simply because they want to create a form of perfection. He's got a whole bunch of stuff. I go more into that on the tier list video about the Planeswalkers. Dovin basically has Thopters everywhere, like patrolling, basically turning it into a police state. Chandra is super upset. She's like broiling, and Jaya's like, watch your temperature and your temper, because Jaya's like just pure quip. Her blood is made of quips. And so Chandra, she understands. She's like, okay, yeah, gotta calm down. But Dovin Baan is the one who currently has the immortal sun. And that is a problem, because how are you going to stop the guy who literally can tell what you're going to do before you do it? That all said, they know for a fact that they have the Azet and the Boros on their side, with the Demir and the Orzhov probably willing to work it out. Everyone else is kind of in the air or actively working for Bolas. With all that said, that was basically the entire point of this particular chapter. Where are the guilds currently, and what is the state of Ravnica? Which, to put simply, is it's doomed. It's in a bad place. As things are, there's no chance of survival. They have one plan, and that is to use the living Guildpact's, my word is magical law, ability to take care of the evil dragon. But we'll find out if that works at a later point in time. Next chapter is a bit shorter, and it's about Gideon, so we'll get into that one next episode. It's a good time. Until then, travel well.